Binge the full week ad-free over at patreon.com/inspireddisorder.
What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
Ted Lasso, Season 1, Episode 3, Trent Crimm, The Independent, is the episode we are on currently on this unofficial Ted Lasso breakdown show. Boom! And this episode starts with Rebecca waking up. And we find out that the photos never leaked. We don't know why right away. We also see Nate stepping up and helping out the team. They're kind of baffled as to far as what kind of plays to run. They, very, very early on, they don't know the sport. Coach Beard is doing the best he can as far as to try and learn new things. But Nate, the kit man, is that what it's called? The equipment manager steps up and has actually a bunch of plays. He's going through his pockets and he's got like just scraps of paper, and he pulls out one scrap of paper and hands it to Ted. And it's basically a play that utilizes Jamie's fame and his notoriety and his well-known status as being an all-star player, and uses him as a decoy, basically. Which, of course, I'm sure is going to lead to Jamie not being happy because he is not getting the ball. He's not, the one to. He's not the one to win it. He wants to be the one to win it, but they're still practicing, and this is their new play that happens to work during practice. So they're going with it, and this is kind of Nate's first step into being part of this coaching team, which is amazing. I love Nate, and of course, Coach Beard and Ted Lasso are amazing as well. So Nate steps up, starts helping with the game plan. You see Keeley and Ted. She comes to Ted, showing him the photos that were her manager were found out about and was able to stall for a day. That's why the photos did not come out. But she comes to Ted to let him know that she thinks that these photos were taken to ruin her career, because that's what generally women tend to take more of the brunt of the responsibility, I guess, publicly, culturally, for being going straying in a relation. I don't know. Like, it's applauded for dudes to go and cheat on their wives, and it's looked down upon for women to do the same thing. But either way, that's where their framing is as far as what they think, what Ted and Keeley think. So they go to Rebecca to let her know, to warn her that these photos, the tabloids are using Ted to ruin Keeley's career. So Rebecca, of course, not wanting to give up the fact that she's the one who hired the photographer to take the photos. She says that she knows the publisher at The Sun. She'll give him a call, kill the story. But she comes back later and says that she killed the story, but instead the higher class publication, The Independent, is going to be sending Trent Crimm, who is the kind of posh, head up his own ass reporter that has asked many questions of Ted and is very critical of Ted so far. So he's going to be the one that's going to be doing a feature on Ted Lasso. So that's Rebecca's kind of new strategy. It's like, okay, these photos didn't work. They weren't, not that they didn't work. They were DOA, dead on arrival. They never got a chance to even be leaked. But now she's going to have Trent interview him, and she knows Trent's going to tear him apart because Trent knows the sport. He knows that Ted doesn't know anything about the sport, and he's going to expose him in this feature that he's going to do on Ted, and it's all going to work out in the end, or at least that's what Rebecca thinks. So they go to Rebecca. She stops the leak. Then Ted, you see this scene where all the players, they get a gift from Ted in the locker room, and they're all opening these gifts up, and each one is a different book. And one of the books, Wrinkle in Time, is the book that was given to Roy. And the reasoning you find out later. I mean, if you've read the book, I haven't read the book. I'm familiar mildly with the story, but for those that haven't read the book, the show the smart writers of the show throw in a line that helps spell it out a little bit for you later on. So there's a scene where everybody's getting books, and it's just a further show the type of coach and the type of leader Ted is, that he is looking to unite everybody. He's looking to inspire them, and inspire them by giving them specific stories that relate to the type of person they are, the type of role player they are within the team. Very smart guy, Ted Lasso, and taking it really from a holistic approach. Very similar, I think, that Phil Jackson would with the Bulls and then later the Lakers. I think I would imagine that Ted Lasso's characters is mildly framed after Phil Jackson. So anyway, everybody gets the books. Roy sees Nate getting bullied, and goes to Ted and Coach Beard to see if they will stop it. And they're like, listen, if we go out there and tell them to stop bullying him, it's just going to do it. It's going to be more. It's got to come from with you. And they're trying to set Roy up as the leader of this team because he's got the experience. He was once a hotshot player. Like he has a perspective that nobody else has on the team, which is understanding what it's like to be at the top, and then also understanding just how different teams can be over time with his experience. So they kind of encourage Roy to take care of the bullying thing, which he kind of does mildly. He's like hesitant to want to do this. He doesn't want the responsibility to be the leader of this team. But, Ted is so good at he understands how to connect with people and how to understand people. So you see Roy try and stop the bullying. Then Roy and Keeley have a moment. Roy storms out of the locker room and Keeley's showing up, and they kind of have a back and forth where you see Keeley is kind of a step ahead of Roy, but they have a kind of a banter, which is fun. Then you also see Keeley. She goes to meet with Rebecca and to thank her about helping protect her career. And they have a bonding moment because they're both women who, Keeley's trying to protect her career from the tabloids destroying it, whereas Rebecca is currently in the process of tabloids trying to discredit and destroy her. So they have a bonding moment. There's a lot of bonding going on in this episode, which is very similar to many episodes so far of Ted Lasso. It's Ted trying to understand and bond. It's the team trying to bond. This whole show is about people coming together, unlikely people coming together. So Rebecca and Keeley have a bonding moment. And then, of course, Trent is interviewing Ted. So Ted decides to take Trent and Roy to go visit a school to try and win over the kids. And, of course, Ted is like a wet blanket as far as the kids caring about what he has to say. But they're stoked that Roy showed up, and they're stoked to go play some soccer with Roy. And it's a really fun moment where Trent's seeing, Ted and Roy kind of interacting with the kids. You also see Roy has a niece that goes to that school. So you also get to see the softer side of Roy. And then later, Trent and Ted takes Trent to a restaurant. The driver that first picked Ted up at the airport when he arrived, he went to his family restaurant, which is like Indian or West African food, very spicy food. And Ted tells the waiter that was also the driver, the son of the owner of the restaurant, he tells him, just bring me what you would cook for your family, right? Ted is all about just trying to connect with people on the realest of terms and trying, just wants to be family with everybody, which is amazing, right? Especially if you're a fish out of water, you want to build a family wherever you're at. And of course it's incredibly spicy food. Trent Crimm can't even handle the spice, but he can see that Ted is willing to eat this spicy food just to be polite. Trent is seeing the real Ted, and they have a conversation, and Ted tells Trent that he doesn't care. Like, he asks him about the birthday party that they threw for Sam, even though they lost the game. And Ted tells Trent he doesn't care about wins and losses. His focus is to make sure that he can help these people become the best people they can be, whether they're on the field or off the field. He's just trying to elevate them as people and try to make them better people. And the wins and losses aren't the focus. And you have this idea that Trent maybe would see that as a negative. But the end of the episode, you have the quote-unquote shithead, which is the assistant that Rebecca, that's the name she has for her assistant in her phone, is shithead. So shithead calls, and the article came out. Trent Crimm's article from The Independent came out, and he's reading it to Rebecca. And by the end of the article, Rebecca realizes that Ted Lasso has won over and made a fan of Trent Crimm. And she is upset. Shithead is upset. But once again, Ted and his positivity reign supreme. It's a great episode, and it made me want to eat made me want to go to that restaurant and eat some food. I love spicy food. But anyway, that is it for Ted Lasso. And episode 3 of season 1, Trent Crimm, The Independent. It was a fun episode. It was, it's further showing Ted, like seeing what he does and seeing just like he's just constantly oozing positivity. You also see Roy. I meant to say there's a scene later on where he's reading to his niece in bed, and he's reading the Wrinkle in Time book to her. And there's a moment where he realizes that he is the character in the book who is like thrown into having to be a leader, and they're an unwilling leader. They don't want to be a leader, and he's realizing that that's him, and that it just you see the moment where it finally clicks in Roy's head what Ted was doing. Like, Ted communicates in like multiple levels. He's playing like 3D chess with like a big smile on his face, and everybody thinks he's stupid. But he's weaving this web of like positivity that just people are just falling victim to. Like, he's leaving these traps of positivity that people are falling into left and right, and they have no idea they're being taken over. The English are being invaded by the positivity of the United States. Who would have thought the positivity, the one thing that feels so lacking in this country, positivity, trying to bring people together. Ted Lasso goes over to the UK and invades the UK with positivity. The one export nobody thought would come from the United States is Ted Lasso. But it's fun. You also get to see Keeley. She, her bonding with all these different people. You're seeing like the connections through all these different characters. You're seeing Nate kind of come up the ranks. He's starting to help out with the game planning of the team. It's a great kind of episode that just adds a lot more, and you're starting to see these characters start to change and start to grow, and it's so much fun. So that's episode 3, season 1 of Ted Lasso. Enjoy it. Do you like audiobooks? Of course you do. You like listening to stuff. You're listening to this, or you're watching it. I don't know what you're doing, but you're definitely listening to my voice, and you can listen to a lot of other voices tell you stories from actual books through the service known as Audible. And because you are a listener of this show, you get 2 free audiobooks when you use my link. Go to inspireddisorder.com/audible. That's AUDIBLE. You'll get 2 free books for signing up. You can cancel at any time, but if you keep your membership, you get an additional book every month. Your subscription and membership comes with Audible Originals, guided wellness programs, news, and so much more. Get yourself 2 free audiobooks by going through my link, inspireddisorder.com/audible. New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on IGTV, YouTube, and everywhere else podcasts are found. Binge the full week ad-free over at patreon.com/inspireddisorder. Buy Ray Taylor Show merch over at inspireddisorder.com, and follow the show on Instagram at Ray Taylor Show. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace. Oh! Ch-